Welcome everybody and Happy New Year welcome to San Luis Obispo Real Estate Podcast with Mr. Hal Sweasey. How are you doing, sir?
I love 2025, James.
2025. We'll talk about that. We'll
far, it's been fantastic.
So it has been. It's only been a couple days, but so far it's been fantastic. JT, how are you?
I'm great, man. I just love being here with you guys.
Well, how was your New Year?
It was fantastic.
Awesome.
I was in bed by 9:30.
You mean 12:30 East Coast time?
Yeah, exactly. You made it. You made it.
Yeah.
Mr. Kingman, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. Had a good New Year. My daughter is 11 now, so she forced me, the rest of the family, went to bed early. But she's like, we got to stay up to midnight. I'm like, you're kidding me, kid.
Did you,
so you made it, huh?
So did you prop you up in a seat even though your eyes were closed?
Yeah, for the most part. I was like, okay.
Put a streamer on. Yeah.
We had some renegades in our neighborhood, Paso Robles, where the West still lives, and they were fireworks galore.
Nice.
So I got a quick story about that. But Christina, you're with us too. How you doing today?
Great, thank you.
Christina, we were just discussing Christina's title. We'll go over that here in just a second. But so I live in Grover, and that's near the dunes where everybody goes. So from all over, and the fireworks show that I get by my house from the beach is absolutely amazing, and it goes for 30 minutes. It's intense. I don't know. I guess when you go to the beach in your RV, fireworks are a thing.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty intense New Year. That's in 4th of July.
I keep
as well.
forgetting there's probably a ton of people that go to the dunes for New Year's.
Apparently, they come from out of state with their non-legal fireworks, and feel free to just let them off.
Rocket launcher.
Right.
Good.
So let's finish the conversation real quick with Christina. What's your title? What exactly? We know what you do, but did we figure out a title? JT, come on. What do you got?
I don't know that we
Vice President of Operations.
Vice President of Operations. That's
and we don't have a president, so pretty soon.
Well, I would say that's probably your wife, Hal, is the president, right? She's the boss.
Well, not here in the office.
Not here in the office.
Because if we base it on the amount of work done, Christina's.
Whoa! Hopefully she doesn't listen to this podcast.
She's got other things she's doing.
No, I know.
You're putting me in a very awkward position,
James. And it's wonderful too.
Yes.
By the way,
So Vice President.
Vice President of Operations.
Every business owner that's running a successful business has a Christina.
Right.
And
yes,
for Hal Sweasey, Christina is that person.
Yeah,
so
and
we're so glad you're here today.
Does everything very well.
Thank you.
If you don't have a Christina, go get one.
Yeah, if you don't have a Christina,
they're not easy to find.
Yeah,
they're not easy to find.
And this one's not available.
Yeah, she's set.
So what are we talking about today?
It's
the market, the real estate market in San Luis Obispo.
Yes. The Happy New Year market.
First of the year. Here we
go.
First
of the month.
Sometimes it's time to reflect. I guess as we reflect, we would say thank you to all our great customers, clients, vendors, everybody that helps us to make the real estate business we do and the clients we help the best job possible. So we can thank a million people, but thank you.
Your business thrives on referrals.
Yep.
And Christina, works very hard on getting our clients here to do online reviews for us when we're done working with them. And I think you set a record for a number of reviews this year, didn't you?
Did I?
I think so.
Oh, 70%,
Yeah.
The record, was it percentage or number of reviews?
I thought it was a percentage. So 70% of the transactions that we close give our team a 5-star review.
That's right.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Don't want to ask what the other 30% do. They don't respond.
No, they don't respond.
Or whatever. I know.
Have we ever gotten a 4-star review?
Nope. We got a 1-star like 10 years ago. Somebody wrote something on Yelp that I didn't recognize.
That didn't do business with us.
No, they were upset. We didn't buy their service, and they gave us a 1-star.
No, that wasn't it. Somebody said that. Well, anyway, it's a long story, but yeah. So otherwise, it's been we do everything we can to make it a good experience. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to our clients. So as we look at what happened in the marketplace, if we look this year back, I think you pulled those numbers. We were ahead of last year by, 11% more sales in 2024 in our county. Okay, so good year, bumped up, and the average price, right, median average, but about 4% higher. Yep. It's interesting, John, you noticed something too, because we break out each of the cities, and what did you notice in terms of pricing?
Well, if you just look at the market stats for each city, there's some up and some down.
Right.
but I don't think, again, statistics was one of my favorite classes my first year in college, and we just don't have a big enough sample size to make the numbers relevant. So you look at the San Luis Obispo and you see prices are up, 40, 50 grand per transaction last month. Does that mean they're up 40 or 50 grand? No, it means that the limited number of sales in that month were higher than they were a year before.
Yeah.
But when we look at the overall median sales price in the county, that's where you get your 3 or 4% number.
This is the average.
Yes.
This is the average. It's just, it comes out of the MLS.
Right.
But you think about it. If you have 15 sales in a town and there happen to be 7 condos that are usually more entry level, then your average price is way down. If you have some high end homes, and that's what it's like. In San Luis Obispo, you can buy a condo for $500 or $600 in some places, and you can have some $3 and $4 million sales. I think our average price in San Luis Obispo, you were telling me,
Yes, a lot higher than
$2.396 million. Well,
Yeah.
we have one for, what was the highest one?
22 million.
We've got a listing for 20, not us, but there's one on
Yeah.
the market for 22 million. We've got a 9. We got some big numbers out there, so that ranges it. So we also noticed the days on the market is a little bit higher, a little bit more normal. So now it's 30 to 40 days on average. And you made a good point. Why do you think that days on the market has increased?
Well, I think with the limited inventory, buyers are buying the properties that have been sitting on the market longer. So
Right.
those days on market is higher.
Yeah. And one little nuance, and this is real estate jargon, there's 2 ways when you go into escrow. You get an accepted offer, you start your escrow process. We can call it pending, right? Or we can call it active but under a contract. And if you mark it pending, which is somewhat random, days on the market stops. So that's a pretty legitimate factor. Accepted offer, day 7, market pending, 7 days on the market. If you put it active under contract, it still shows up, but agents and the public know that it has an offer accepted, so it slows down, but the days accumulate there.
Right.
So it might take 45 days to close, and if it was active under contract, you just went from 7 days on the market plus 45 days to close. That's 52 days, but actually only 7 days before it went under contract. So those numbers are a little bit skewed,
Yeah.
right?
So what did we learn from the...
Wait, that wasn't exciting to you?
No.
Well, I have a question.
We didn't want to dive
I have a
into
question
that.
about
Thank
that,
you,
actually.
Jeff.
No.
This
So-
was
so
really
if it's
important.
active-
That was too much jargon
a
for
little
me.
nerdy for John.
Well, and I come in, at base level. I don't study what you guys study. Active under contract. Say it's under contract and it's under contract for 35 days, and then it falls apart. Then the days on the market would be the 35 plus 7, so it'd be on the market for 42 days at that
is
point.
also right.
So that's not a good look if
Really
it
good
falls
point.
if it falls out of contract. Correct.
Yep.
What's the quote you used?
Days on the market as a seller are not your friend, right? And it's interesting because if we represent a seller and we have active under contract, it's good in that buyers could still say, "Oh, I might want to see that," or put a backup offer in. So it's good.
okay.
Like it's like not putting a sold or pending sign on a sign. We want the buyers still just in case. The downside is if it falls out, then it's like, oh, it's been on the market for a while. But anybody who's paying attention knows that it just fell out or whatever. But yeah, it could easily be a little distraction.
As a tip that somebody might be buying a house, if it's active under contract, whether they're using you or whoever they're using, still talk to your agent about it and don't give up on it if you just see that active under contract there, right?
Yeah, I would say never give up. I mean, we've had a couple of backup offers in place and the first person didn't go through, so the backup goes right into it. So we never know what's going to happen, right?
I heard a more sinister version of your quote.
Yes.
Days on the market are the enemy of your home's value.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Yeah, so we're not talking about not your friend. We're talking about it's the enemy
Yeah.
of your home's value.
In a lower inventory market like we have, that's
so
true.
if something's on the market for a long time, what does the public think?
There's something wrong with it.
Something's wrong with it, or
Why doesn't anybody want to buy it, right?
or
Price is too high.
price is too high. Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
So
Thank you, James.
The
You're welcome.
quote's valid, whichever way, the nice way or the evil way.
Right.
Days on the
The
market.
fear of loss is real. The
Yeah.
fear of loss is real,
Yeah.
and so when you're looking at a property and you're like, oh, 30 days on the market. I mean, your first thought is, what's wrong with it? Let's look at some others, and you just move on. It's
Yeah.
too easy to view real estate in today's day and age and form your own. They could be misguided opinions, but they're your opinions, so you tend to believe them.
Well, and everybody loves new and improved.
Yeah.
You got a new iPhone. It's different than the old iPhone. I don't know the difference, but it is, right? Or just so new on the market is your time really to capture the market. And any buyer or any agent sees a new listing, they want to know, well, how many people have looked at it? Is there an offer? Do I need to jump on this thing? So that is a great lever for a seller. It's a great advantage to have. It's great for them to do a better job. Okay. So what else did we talk about?
So the market stats. What did the numbers from December tell you about how we're doing year over year?
We had
24 versus 23.
Yeah, we had a number of more homes on the market this year, so that's good. A little bit more inventory than we had. Our pending sales were about even, so that was pretty flat. Our closed sales were up, I'm going to see it right here, 15%, and our new listings were up 22%. So what does that mean? Okay, so we had 52 close, but we only had 75 new ones come up for sale. However, based on what we see in the office here, we have listings that we've already taken, but we're waiting until the first year to put up for sale. There's people that want to meet after the first year about selling their houses. There's people that are going to come out and want to buy. So I'm certain we'll see an uptick in activity in the first part of the year.
When the activity in the marketplace took a good boost in the beginning of fall, like into August, September,
yep.
when rates took a dip, right? Our inventory was at the highest point it had been in a number of years since COVID. And since that point, it's down about 25% or so, isn't it, Christine? Is that what you're noticing? Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is that there were probably a lot of people that pushed the pause button over the holidays, and if the rest of the market is anything like what's going on in your office, we should see a pretty nice spike in inventory in the next 2-3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The next month or two, I would say for sure. And again, if you're a owner that's selling and you're going to have a loan and you have 4.5% and you can do a 6, which happened in September for a short time, okay. Now that's closer to 7. Maybe I wait, or people just go, well, it's just 7. We're still going to do it. Right? We would love to have timed it and got the 6, right? So we'll see what happens to interest rates. And I know you follow those almost closer than I do, but we're getting a little bit,
they're pretty stubborn right now.
They're pretty stubborn, I would say.
Yeah. But we had, when you were gone last month, we did a couple episodes with Albert Meggers from Keller Williams.
Sure.
And Albert, one of his points that he was trying to make was that there has been so much delay of people's lives because of interest rates.
Right.
That, all the life's events that cause people to transact real estate, marriages, births, deaths, divorces, all those things are continuing to happen. And there will come a point where people will say, darn it, I don't care what the interest rate is. I can't live in a 2-bedroom house with 4 kids.
Right.
And I need to move.
Yep.
So his position was he thought that 2025 we're about to take off in the marketplace.
Yeah. I would say it is what it's it's a new normal, but it is also very normal. Interest rates, what was it? We were talking to somebody in 1995, I think. The mortgage rates went from 9% to 7%, I think, or something like that. So very similar, and here we are at 7%, right? So it's not like we haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
And all the same factors apply. San Luis Obispo is a great place to live. We have people all the time that want to come, live here. And even though our inventory is up, it's still low in relationship to others. And quite honestly, for San Luis Obispo, we're very lucky because lots of other parts of the country are not. They don't have the strength and resilience of a market like this market has, right? It really makes a difference. And the people that own real estate who want to own more than one piece of real estate are interested. People that are relocating, we get all sorts of demand from those things. So, yeah.
I'm struggling here.
Nothing
Sorry.
to cough about. This is serious, yeah.
It's got something in my throat.
Yeah. Drink that water down.
I'm trying. So we looked ahead to what you think might happen here in January, more listings coming on the marketplace, stimulate some more activity. If I want to move a property, I always heard you talk about three things that are important.
Sure.
You remember what they are?
Like sometimes, yeah, James does. So obviously pricing is really important. When I sit down with sellers these days, it's amazing. I always bring a few comparable sales where somebody started at their house at 1.2 and it sells for $1.4 million or 426 just to demonstrate. And it's usually right away. And then I have others that have been on the market for 30, 60 days, and they might have come down 100,000 on their price or 125,000. So the price is always important. And if somebody who's representing a seller knows how to work with more than one offer, being in a competitive situation that short time on the market usually benefits them. So the price is a big deal. Obviously, condition. So if you're sitting, you have two things you can control: price and condition. So you can either add money, invest money in some sort of marketing, invest money in fixing up the house and improving it, or adjust the price, which oftentimes is easier for an owner than investing money that they hope to get out. So price, condition, and then of course location. So those always determine things, and you can control those too. You can't control your location, but you have control as an owner over the price and the condition.
So, Christina, you work with Hal on his listings. How long after Hal puts one on the market do we know if those three things are coming together and it's the house is going to sell pretty easily? How long would that take?
Well, I think I said 7 days a week, and then you said a weekend, but yeah, probably within the first week of being on the market.
Okay. So we got a decent location, desirable location. We've got a house that's in decent condition. We'll know within 7 days if the price is right. And that comes in the form of showings and offers, right?
Yeah. If we say on a Wednesday, which a lot of times we do, we'll come in on is let the public know it's coming for sale. So it gets exposure that way. Then we start showings on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. And if we get a fair number of showings, usually by Monday, we'll have offers. So oftentimes less than a week. Yeah. Right. So that's when we know it's going to be popular. And
so
then others, it could be, you know, as an agent usually or a seller in the first few weeks on a property that, you know, unless it's an outlier. Right. Yep. So we have properties that are remote, you know, out, you know, way out 20, 30 miles from town, you know, in the rural areas, land is tricky. Some certain areas are tricky. Some neighborhoods get a little bit cold, but in general, it doesn't take long to figure it out.
So you guys put a house on the market a week later. We're not having showings. We don't have any offers. What's the conversation look like between you and the seller?
Well, a lot of it is based on the feedback, right? So just like any product you're marketing, you want to know what the public is saying and how they're responding to it. Offers are a good sign. Showings are a good sign. No showings is a real problem, right? So, so the conversation is, okay, we're having good showings. Everybody else, you know, seems to think that they'd have to put more money into it than they like, you know, which if you read that backwards, it means it's too much for what we need to do to the house. So that usually is a price or a condition issue. So we talk about that. Certain properties, if, you know, all the other comps have moved quickly in a very specific neighborhood and this one hasn't, then you go, okay, well, you know, we can give it another week, but just be prepared. If by next week that hasn't happened, we might want to talk about either the condition or the price. Okay.
So I read somewhere that, and I'd like to hear the two of you respond to this. If you put the house on the market and you have a bunch of showings and you get a few offers within the first week, then you know that you priced it right. It's a good location, right? Okay. Yep. If you have a few showings but no offers, I was told that you're probably 3 to 5% too high on the price. How does that resonate with you guys?
Probably about right, because I think it's very rare when a house is new on the market that someone will offer much less than the listed price.
Okay.
Right? They
so
just
in the
think
first week.
They're not gonna offer less. If they do, you know, it's fine. You never know. And I see them go fast that way, but usually that's not the case.
Yeah.
But if there's more than one offer, usually they're not all less than the asking price. There's usually one at or above, right?
Normally, yep.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go a week and you don't have any showings and you don't have any offers, I was told you could be priced as much as 10%
Could be, yeah.
too high.
Not
Is that-
uncommon, yeah.
Now, I've watched some homes that to sell, people have had to come down 30-40% on their price, in that they were just way outside the target.
Right. I think if they're that, we don't have many sales that drop that much. Like 10, 15% is a huge drop in
Yeah.
most price ranges. If that's the case, they're probably so far off, they're just not going to sell.
Okay.
Right. If somebody lists a house at $2 million, it's worth $1.4 million. They don't want to adjust that much. They're probably not going to go that low. It's just, well, we just shouldn't sell the property. I would say that's more common than dropping
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. Somebody said one time that the person who values the property most is the one who's going to end up with it, and sometimes that could be the seller.
Yep.
They value their property more than anybody else in the marketplace, so they're going to keep it because
They're-
it won't sell.
They're the
for what
highest
they
bidder.
want.
They're
Yeah.
the highest bidder on their house.
Yeah. Now, insurance is a big deal in California now. The insurance crisis is a big deal in California. What's your experience with insurance getting in the way of conducting the real estate business lately?
I would say it's a little bit better. And what happens in Florida and California can affect the whole country. So we're noticing it pretty strongly in HOAs, associations, where the association pays the insurance, and special assessments going up, and difficulty getting underwriting for conventional loans. So there was a condo complex in Florida, I think a couple of years ago, that just basically collapsed.
Right.
So that was a problem that affects nationwide, because now lenders that want to get conventional loans have a association form that gets filled out, and they're asking big time questions, right? And they're very nervous. We had one with a local association with about 25 units. There's one owner that owns 3 units, and because of that, the lender, you can't get a conventional loan.
Because one owner has 3 units.
Yeah, concentration of ownership. Like if that owner has a problem, like on new condo conversions, new condo developments, if the developer's still involved and there's 30 units and only 10 have sold to separate individuals, 20 owned by one, the banks don't like that.
Wow.
'Cause if
So
one
how do
person
the
has a
first
problem-
few units sell?
Well, they get some lenders will do that with a more higher rate loan with lower down and not 30-year conventional loans.
Okay.
So in this case, I know the owner of those 3 units. He probably could own the whole complex. So if they dug a little deeper, that'd be totally safe. But again, it just doesn't fit in the box that they have to underwrite around based on what's happening with associations. So that's insurance, that's condition, that's age of building. All those things can affect things. So it's very property specific.
It sounds like there's a couple listing opportunities there. The person who owns 3 ought to divest in 2 of them to help everybody else in the complex. There's a couple listing opportunities there. Huh?
I know them, and they own them free and clear, and they own them free and clear for a reason. They're not.
Got it. So some of our remote properties that you have, is insurance getting in the way of those selling and impacting to what we talked about a few minutes ago, days on the market?
Oh yeah, it certainly does. First of all, being remote, people that come here kind of like the convenience, right? So there's not as much demand that we see for the remote type properties, but insurance does affect it just like anything. I mean, again, I'm not going to name names, but a very desirable condo complex has pretty big special assessments, and people are just going, wow, they may sell because it's just become too expensive for them.
Got it.
They've owned it for a long time. They didn't pay much. Their taxes are low, but the insurance are a big enough hit to go, well, this in fact impacts my lifestyle. So hopefully we get some resolution soon. So I would say in general, we can manage the process more. It seems like some companies are opening up their allotment. You've both heard that. Yeah. So I think that will be manageable. And again, those are all factors that go into what a property costs to own. And I think if we get a drop in rates and a drop in insurance, it's going to be very attractive for buyers, and maybe a little easier for sellers, but we got to wait and see on those.
So we only have a couple minutes left in this episode. Just, I heard you say earlier that sales are up somewhere right around 8-10% year over year. Do you
11.
expect
11.
I like 11 better.
11.
Do you expect about the same track to run on in 2025 over 2024?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe, like Albert does, that there'll be more people deciding to go ahead and sell,
Okay.
right, for a variety of reasons, and that a lot of people did put their plans on hold.
And we'll have more people buy if we can get more people who want to sell.
If we had more properties to sell, we'd have more, to talk to anybody that's working with any buyers these days, any agents, and they'll go, bring it on. So, yeah, we're going to have it'll be a little bit stronger this year than last. That'll be my guess. Yep.
Great. Well, Christina, thanks for joining us on this episode.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Hal, just a real quick, how does everybody get a hold of you if you have any questions about selling or buying a house?
You can call the office 805-781-3750 or go to halsweasey.com.
And
Right.
they'll probably get Christina answering the phone, right?
If they're
That's
lucky.
right.
If they're
If they're lucky, that's right.
Anybody.
right to the
anybody.
brains of the vice president.
And also, don't forget, if you have a question for Hal, you can reach out to us and we can talk about it on the podcast here. That's an Ask Hal thing. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Hal Sweasey on YouTube. And then, Jeff, we do some other stuff too.
Yeah. What was the phone number people call for the
805-244-1170.
Okay.
That's a text message. You can send a text message to that number.
That's super convenient.
I'll put it on the
You just
description.
throw it out there. Drive-by type question. You don't even have to.
And
You just wait for the response to pop up on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I love that. I love that stuff.
All right, Christina, thank you so much for being here. Hal, JT, as always, you guys are awesome. I'm super excited for next week. We have somebody from the SLO Chamber coming, right?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Mr. D'Antona is at Jim, right?
Yep.
So we're super excited for that next week, and so make sure everybody tunes in for that. Appreciate it, everybody, for listening, and we will talk to everybody next week. See you guys.
Great job, James. Great
James.
job, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.